Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of the TSU First show. I'm your host, Lightbrandt, and today we will be interviewing one of the most influential people in X3 Omar X3's TSU, the one and only Shortlonewolf991. Please enter the room. Hello, Short. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Lightbrandt. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast, man. I'm excited to get this started.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man. So, Short, I wanted to start off by asking what the beginnings were like. How did you first come across TSU? And what division did you join? Did you beef with anybody? Did you rise to a higher rank in your beginning time here?
So, like many other people who first got introduced to this genre, I joined off ads, but I joined at a very young age. I actually joined when I was like 11 years old. I'm 20 right now for reference. And it was in GK Soviet Union, and the first division I ever joined was SAF. And I was in SAF under X3 Omar X3's Marshal Command and Fuego's Minister of Defense Command. So that's how I got to know them. And, a lot of things happened, a lot of drama. And turns out that Omar made his own Soviet Union, and here I am.
Wow, man. I actually remember those times. I was like 9 or 10.
That's
I was
crazy.
like 9 years old when I first joined TSU, and I was there when Fuego was still the Minister of Defense. So we probably met back then, honestly. But
Most probably, yeah.
yeah, I was too young to really remember anybody. I do remember Fuego though from back then.
Hmm.
So Short, it's no secret that your boss in the Central Committee, Dux, or now he's known as the One Boss, is one of the most influential and controversial people in TSU. It is widely alleged that the House of Hirzor uses its family connections as a tool of corruption. Do you personally agree with these statements?
It's quite the first question, frankly, and I'm glad you brought this up because I've been thinking a lot of things right now. And
Really?
the biggest word that I think of right now is corruption. When I think of the name Here's all I think about is, these free ranks being handed out, all of that. It's just disgusting. And as someone who's in the government, my main goal is democracy. And when I see the name Here's that is the opposite of it. That's treason to the Soviet Union.
Are you saying that it's treasonous to become a Hirzor in TSU?
Not exactly just the family name, because there's already a lot of family names like in Soviet Union. It's always been a thing, but the Hizar family, I believe they've been the most corrupt out of all of them.
Wow, man. So I want to ask, do you think that the Hirzor family disbanded because, well, you see that a lot of people have changed their names, including myself
Hmm.
and Dux.
Right.
So, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a step forward in the right path that this family name is being disbanded. This family that's been ruling over many, many people is finally being disbanded. But I don't think that moment's going to last for long because there's going to be another family taking over. Like someone already brought up the concern about the KGB and the Petrov family, even though that's not
Right.
technically a family, but it's still something to be concerned about.
Yeah, I think it's like with their alts, right?
Hmm. Something like that.
So I wanted to ask you about this corruption, you know, especially in the government where you have a very high rank central committee, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Yes.
has Dux, your boss, ever taken actions or in any way pressured you to use your position as a central committee man to further the goals of the Hirzor family?
I'm gonna be fully honest, there hasn't been any direct, order for me to vote a certain way on certain affairs. However, there has been like a hidden social like stigma within the central committee chats where if you do not follow what, the almighty Dux Hizor has to say or vote for, then there might be a punishment or you might get removed. It's always that overlooming threat you have to be afraid of.
Right,
But
like
and
Big Brother's watching you kind of thing.
exactly like 1984, that's what I think of when I'm in the CC chat.
Mm. How do you feel about Dux bringing Conscious back, considering the fact that most people really don't enjoy her presence here?
Honestly, from what I've heard, his reasoning for bringing conscience back was somewhat like logical, but I also don't think it's fair that, he could just overrule the courts to bring, a person who's been blacklisted back, especially with their kind of history, you know?
Yeah. Can I ask, what was the reason for him to bring her back? If,
I'm not a
if you're at
hundred
liberty to
percent.
say.
I don't know if I'm at liberty to say actually, but it had something to do with, you know, it was a sort of power play.
Mm, I get you. I get you. I guess we can leave that up to the audience to interpret. Um, sure. I wanted to ask you about your militia past,
Mhm.
specifically about the militia personnel of today. Do you think that all of the militia personnel will one day come together and stab you to death like what happened to Caesar?
Um, Judging how I'm not the leader of Militia anymore, I don't think that's very, I don't think that's gonna happen. But I don't also don't see why they would do it. I've been nothing but nice to Militia. I've been trying to work with them to get better power docs, protecting them over the years. And yeah, I think I've had them, in favor while still keeping it as most as I can an impartial rule in my Central Committee term.
Right. As a central committee man, um, feeding into what you've said, have you taken actions that have favored militia,
Well, I'm not going to
like
sit here and lie to
explicitly?
you and say that I have not, but I've definitely, protected Militia, especially when I had big arguments in the CC chat when Commandant Service came out because there
Hmm.
was people trying to remove the powers of Militia to add in this the Commandant Service. And I was able to come to an agreement and vote on certain things. Right now, I don't mind it as much, but it was a big topic of disagreement. So yes, I do take sides in favor of Militia, but not all the time. I still remain, professional and unbiased as much as I can. Like I said.
Right, right. Would you be in favor of cleaning the streets by rounding up all the admission personnel and putting them to work in camps?
Glory to the Soviet Union. That's what we're here for, is it not?
Glory to the Soviet Union and hail Arthur.
Hail Arthur.
Yes, yes. It is rumored that the head of the Central Committee has selected a prominent member of the Hirzor family to succeed Deadly Plum Jelly as the Minister of Justice. As a member of the Central Committee, would you support such a very obviously corrupt act as placing an ally of the Hirzors into power as the MOJ?
So I already brought this up, but I had the almighty Dux Hair or now the one boss 1125, which I totally disagree with his name change, but that's not up to me anyways. But we have this overlooming master in the group chat, and there's not much I could do to oppose him. So even if I did
Hmm.
disagree with it, there's not much I could say or do about it, right?
I mean, I guess not. I mean, one vote, and how many of the Central Committee members are aligned with his goals, as a Hirzor? Isn't Temp in the Central Committee? And he's one of the
Temp is
founding
in the Central
fathers
Committee.
of the Hirzor family, isn't he?
Hmm.
So it just makes you wonder to what extent does this extend to?
It kind of references to the U.S. presidents who have to kiss the wall. In
Oh,
this
yeah.
case, like the wall is like the Hizur family.
Mm, I get what you mean. Yeah, the Wailing Wall.
Hmm.
A very good analogy. Um, so sure, it is rumored that Dux has successfully passed a resolution to close the Ministry of Communications. Can you confirm or deny if these allegations are true, and would you or did you support this act?
As of the moment, I am not at liberty to discuss the closure of the media if it is allegedly happening or not. All I can say is that media have been a huge problem recently, and if it was ever the case that this alleged policy would pass, I would vote yes on it.
Yeah, it seems most people really don't like media, you know,
I
and
wonder why.
honestly for good reason. I don't really like
Hmm.
them personally. But I want to move on to a little bit more of a lighthearted question. Short.
Okay.
What do you find to be the best thing about TSU? What keeps you here?
Oh, the best thing, I think the only thing that honestly keeps all like the OG players is just the nostalgia. We want to feel the nostalgia we once had when we were younger, playing this game, going through the ranks. I think that's what keeps most people here. But another thing is just, the to go along with that reason, the since we've been in this community for so long, we have a lot of friends and we just want to, it's a community hub where you could talk with friends and, chill with them, play some Roblox game with them, kill some Roblox Soviet Union, the Soviet raiders with them, all of that.
Yeah. Don't forget ego some kids too. Low ranks.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
And actually, another reason for that, like, not in my case. I would never, right? People love to power trip,
Mm.
so that's why a lot of people stay in these genres as well.
Yeah, and they sit in ranks for years
And
as
they
well.
do stuff like our great Fuhrer, Hail
Yep.
Arthur.
Hail Arthur. Considering you guys have an almost identical career path in TSU, can you confirm or deny the rumors about you and Vanel being clones of each other?
That is honestly like a hilarious thing. That's the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. Uh, I cannot I deny that we're clones, but I'd love to be Vanny. He's a very sexy man from Sweden or something. So I love that, but no, we're not clones as much as I want it to be.
Yeah. He's in Spetsnaz as well, isn't he? And you're in Spetsnaz too. The similarities are a little bit too much, you know? It just kind of raises a little bit of eyebrows at
Hmm.
that.
We were both the Vimple unit commanders as well. If you start connecting the dots even more,
Hmm,
it is a bit
that's
odd though.
true.
It's
It
very
is
weird
kind
that
of
we
odd.
both go in the same like exact path.
Sure. I want to ask you about your Central Committee disqualification. I think it happened last year when elections were going on. Do you
Mhm.
think your CC disqualification was a Jewish plot to rig the election in Dux's favor, or no?
So this all ties back to when I said, you have to kiss the wall for things to go
Mm,
your way. So
yeah,
I definitely think it was a Jewish plot. They're controlling the elections. They're counting my votes as fraudulent. They're saying I failed the first time I applied for CC. All of this is all just a part of a huge, bigger plot that we're not aware of.
right, right. This, I think it's called the deep state.
Hmm.
It's very real, I would say. And I wonder what Dux has to say about this as well when he might come on the show.
Right.
I'd love to see that his response to
Oh,
you
he's coming
here.
on the show. You're getting the head of Central Committee here.
Yeah, I spoke to him a few hours ago, and he said that he would be willing to come on the show as the second guest. So
Oh, that's very interesting. Well, I hope things go well for you and your podcast with him goes well.
yeah, thank you. Moving on, I want to ask you about one of your companions, one of your longtime companions in TSU.
Hmm.
Is it true that you and War 112223344556677888 are related and speak the same Minion language?
So it is definitely a minion language, and we are actually blood relatives. He's my clone.
Blood
Yeah,
relatives,
he's
and
he's my real clone.
he's uh he's your cousin or like your brother or what?
He's my brother's sister's second cousin on my father's side.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend like I understood that. And wow, man, I didn't know that he was like genuinely blood related to you. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Hmm.
Um, I want to ask, did you introduce him to TSU? Um,
Um, no, funnily enough, we found out we were blood relatives, through
oh,
TSU.
really?
We met in SAF, both under Omar's and Fuego's command, actually.
So you guys found out that you were related to each other in TSU.
Hmm. Right.
How did that come about? Did you guys just get
Um,
like become friends or what's up?
yeah, we became friends, and then we started chatting, and we're like, "Yo, we share the same uh grand grandfather's cousin's sister's daughter." And they were like, well, "Damn, that's crazy."
Hmm. It's very interesting. I wonder if other people have found out that they're related to others in this group. That might be the first of its kind.
Well, I
You
do
know,
have some great stories about that actually, but let's not get into that today.
oh, maybe for another day then.
Hmm.
Do you think Dux and Conscious Owens are in a committed relationship?
Conscious Owens?
No comment. Do you think they're in a committed relationship?
I believe they are. How else would she come back from a blacklist?
Hmm. That does raise some questions, and around that same time, I believe her bang bus was actually doing a tour around Stval.
I've heard about this.
Really, really makes you wonder, right?
Hmm. Now I know
Um,
there's allegations surrounding my name that I was on the bang bus list, but I was not on the list. I don't even know that like what the list is, and
oh,
uh,
really? I was gonna
I
ask you
cut
about
off
that.
Conscious like years ago. Like I'm not on the list.
Mm, so you don't speak to her anymore?
No, 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 no. Of course not.
Huh. How do you feel about the rumors that controversial militia officer and Gimpy Neek Arthurium is going to be directly appointed to the Central Committee?
Can I get a clarification on what Gimpy Neek is?
No comment, no comment.
Okay. Uh, I honestly have no clue. And what's even crazier about that, he was already appointed as an officer right after his blacklist.
He was, I believe, I think no less than 48 hours after he came back to militia, he was a lieutenant.
Hmm.
And this is the same guy who said he's going to get rid of all of the free rankers, by the way.
That's crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, you know, I somewhat get why, Grand Leader Master Dux would unblacklist Conscious for his reasons. But unblacklisting, controlling the courts and unblacklisting Arthur, someone who's been known to be, you know,
very
the
problematic.
complete embodiment of what do you call it?
A gimpy
Like
neek.
of power tripping. There's no reason to do that, right? What ploy, what deeper plan does Dux have with this?
Yeah, that's a very good question that you've raised, and I hope that Dux watches our episode here and gives his 2 cents on it.
Mhm.
Do you think that the Here's family fractured because Dux refused to make Victor a Central Committee member? And Parabellum will pull up the screenshot for us to see here on the screen and our audience. What do you think about that?
So
Do you think
sorry,
it's
who is
true?
Victor again?
Victor is actually serious, or
Actually,
actually
Syrian.
Here's.
Hmm.
And do you think that, the Here's family fractured, it was the final straw that he changed his name? Do you think it was because Ducks refused to make him a Central Committee member?
That could very well be a possibility. Dux is trying to become the judge, jury, and executioner, and
Mm,
controlling the courts and appointing people to positions. Just I really believe that's what made the great fallout of the Hizir family. It's just people finally realize the this corrupt scheme that's been running.
really?
Hmm.
Well, sure. Do you have any questions for me? Because I've run out of questions for you.
I don't really have any questions.
You
But I
don't?
do have to say something. Everything I've said here, it's all fake. It's all AI. So I
It's
cannot be
Sora. There's
prosecuted
a
for this.
Sora watermark on
Sora
it.
watermark. It's bouncing around right now. You see the left side of the screen right now. Yep, this is all fake.
Yep. And satire and parody.
Mhm. Of course, of course.
Well, sure, it was a very big pleasure to have you on the show. Um, yeah, I wish I could have asked you a little bit more questions, but I just didn't have much other than the ones that I've asked you already.
That's all again, man. It was an honor to be a part of the show, and I really wish you the best on the future shows you have, especially with Ducks. I want to see how that goes. Or the one boss man 1125, of course. Sorry.
Yes, yes. Me and Boss Man will have our episode soon, and should be very entertaining. I hope you tune in for that one. And Maybe
Thank
we
you.
could set up a debate between you two. I mean, it seems like you might have some gripes with him, and
That'd
maybe
be
we could
very
get that
interesting.
sorted out in a debate.
Okay, well, I'll look forward to it.
Well, thank you, Short. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. Glory to Soviet Union and glory to our viewer Arthur. Hail
Hail
Arthur.
Arthur.